Woody Ryder. I'm the SBHRS's event coordinator, and I am the chairman of the HO layout. We are the South Bay Historical Railroad Society. Our main purpose is historical railroading. We have a museum, which is in the original freight house, and we have HO and N-scale layouts, which are in the second freight room. And we also have the Santa Clara Tower and a few other outbuildings. The layouts are actually a part of the museum. We are not a railroad club. We are a museum. And the HO, which we're dealing with today, is primarily California. We have San Jose, we have Alhambra Valley, which is in Martinez. We have an area we're just currently working on, which is San Miguel, California, down in Central California. We finally have a California mission. We have packing plants. We have other industries. And we're going to visit some of the prominent features that are on the layout. Several of our young people have brought their trains in today to show you the modeling that we have and the things that we do.
My name's Bill Burkett, and welcome to the SBHRS, which is the South Bay Historical Railroad Society. You're in our museum, and you're looking at our setup area for the main line on the lower track and the upper track area for main line and the branch line. Just a little background first on the museum. The museum consists of many exhibits. We are not a model railroad club. We are a historical landmark building in the former Southern Pacific Santa Clara Depot. The museum consists of a board of directors room, the layout room that you are in, which features both HO and N-scale, all using Digitrax. We have another room past this that is the old freight receiving room. That is our museum room with railroad artifacts. We have a library. We have a restored passenger waiting depot. And we have the Oregon Navigation and Railroad Company officer's car outside, which is currently undergoing restoration on a former spur track along the dock outside. So let's look at this area here. You'll see two trains. There is a small freight train on the upper level, which is set up to go out on our branch line. From the upper level, we can also operate out onto the main lines. We have two main lines. One is the 100, one is the 200. The branch line can stay as a separate operation. It can also, you can take a train up there and connect to our logging railroad on the other end of the layout. The lower level is just a setup area for the two main lines, the 100 and 200. The longer tracks in the setup area are used for longer trains that can be doubled over. We have some members, for instance, we have a windmill train, and he will set up on two of these tracks and double over. We also have a tank train, and that can be doubled over. And there's some other unit trains likewise that can be done. Passenger trains are also set up here. The passenger train you see down below is a single car, Southern Pacific number 10. It's a model of the Southern Pacific RDC car that was used originally between Oakland and Sacramento, local service, and later on dedicated to the NWP, which ran it from San Rafael to Eureka, California, until service ceased when Amtrak began operations in 1971. So now if you look above at our branch line train, it's going to start to pull out, and once it pulls out, we can go to the other side, and you can see, we'll show you the resumption of where it's going. The RDC is also pulling out now, and that is going to go out either to the 100 or 200 main line. Okay, the RDC car you see coming out, it's going through the crossover from the setup track onto the 200 main line. The freight train is now going to come out and traverse the branch line. The building to the left, the Alhambra Natural Mineral Water Building, was modeled from a building that actually exists. And the white house that you see up on the hill is representing the Martinez home of John Muir. As the train progresses, you will see it go across the Santa Fe Steel Bridge, which still exists in Martinez and is currently used by the BNSF. What you're looking at in the log area is our mill, which has had sound installed. There's a light in the burner. This is an award-winning model that was scratch built by a member, Bob Dolce, and after it won the contest that it was placed in some years ago, it was placed here to be part of our exhibit for the branch line and the logging railroad. There are several tracks you'll see in the foreground, which are for log bogies. There's a small shop building, and for the set out and pickup of empty lumber cars for loading. You'll see a few cars over here on the spur track, and you'll see the log cars. I will just demonstrate by hand that the log cars can be shoved in here by an engine to the log dump area for the pond. The box cars can be switched and set over into the lumber loading area for outbound shipments. Our branch line local freight, SP 1474, is now going through the switch off of the siding in Martinez, and it's now going to go uphill in between the Alhambra Natural Mineral Water Plant and the John Muir House. Also, just went by our cattle yards, and you can see the cattle cars there spotted for loading.
My name is Mike Lane, and I've been with the SBHRS since about the year 2000. And right off the bat, my specialty has always been scenery and mostly structures. At this part of the layout, we have a representation of a Central California oil field. We have the pump jacks pumping crude oil. It's being collected in these tanks. So this is very representative of the kind of oil fields that we have in Central California. The crude oil is collected into oil storage tanks, and then eventually it goes to the San Miguel refinery right over here. And this is a crude oil refinery that processes the oil found in the field and makes gasoline products. We have it as a Sinclair refinery right now, and here's the fracking towers, which break down the crude oil into gasoline products, which you see over here in these white tanks. There's a switch yard here where the finished products, gasoline and other products, can be switched into freight trains, local freight trains, to collect the freight here. The San Miguel oil field and refinery. In this part of the layout, we're trying to create a Central California fruit and packing town from the 30s and 40s and packing into the 1970s. We have a large fruit packing warehouse here. We have a PFE ice plant here, which will for packing the reefers with ice. And this part of the layout will soon be the downtown area of San Miguel, California, a major fruit packing town. Here we are at the north end of the town of San Miguel. We have a residential district, and business-wise it's anchored, this area is anchored by a wood yard and a sun-kissed packing plant here. This is all these structures were either kit-bashed or scratch-built. And this represents a large fruit packing plant from the 1940s, 1950s. Then it passes into the Mission Heights residential area, and the entire scene is anchored by the Mission, San Miguel here. And we wanted to capture the feeling of California, and nothing captures the spirit of California like a California mission. So this is a totally scratch-built mission and a residential district here with fruit packing and fruit growing farm in the background there.
The place we're at now is the Cahill Station. We found full drawings. The building is this way and this way, pretty much to scale. It is a scratch build building. The buildings that are down to this end of the building, there are buildings there, but these are slightly compressed to fit our layout. Behind the station we have 4 active tracks. Currently we have 3 passenger trains sitting in the station, and then to this end of it we have this white building. Now there is a sign that still sits out there called Stefan's Meats. This white building is basically the Stefan's Meat. That the sign is still there, but the building is gone. So this is the area of San Jose and the now called Dearden Station, but we call it Cahill because our era of the layout is 1970 and before, and in 1970 it was called Cahill.
Well, we're glad you came on this video visit to our HO layout today at the SBHRS. We'd like to encourage you to come by and visit. Our regular hours open to the public are every Tuesday evening from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Also, twice a year, on the first weekend of April and the first weekend of November, we have our big show. And the semi-annual shows, we have refreshments, our company store, videos, and a lot more activities for the family and children to see and to do. And please visit our website at www.sbhrs.org. And we always have memberships open. You can find all the membership information and contact information on our website. Thank you for your video visit and have a good day.